I'm a photographer from Atlanta, and I go to all the events around Atlanta, shoot lots of cars, and I go to other events such as Monterey Car Week in Amelia Island, and I go to the Cavalier Classic every year since 2012. And I've been to the Dream Ride experience as well. It's a lot of traveling to do to see all these cars. I figured I might as well seize the opportunity to go to Europe and see cars that maybe you wouldn't see in the US, such as Zondas and other cars, because it's not every day that you get the opportunity to see stuff like that. So that was a key reason why I went to Europe, was to get to experience cars that aren't legal in the US or that you don't always see around. I thought that some of these events, and Europe as a whole, would trump what I had seen before. It really exceeded my expectations, and I was able to see several cars that I had always wanted to see and I had not seen, such as the Zonda Cinque Roadster. I had gone to London several summers in a row, and I wanted to have more time there because I'd only been there for around a week each time. And I'd been to the Goodwood Festival of Speed in 2016, and I wanted to go back and I wanted to experience everything and spend more time around everyone. I decided to study abroad, and I took some classes at the London School of Economics, and a lot of my free time, pretty much all of my time, I did car things. So I went to dealerships such as Joe Macari. They have some of the best Ferraris around you could find. And then I went to Super Vettura, I went to some other dealerships, and then saw a bunch of cars just all around London. Met a lot of cool people, and then I went to events like the Goodwood Festival of Speed. And this year was amazing, even better than 2016. One weekend in London, I went to a show, and I actually got to ride in a LaFerrari Aperta. Unbeknownst to me, I had met this owner of some incredible cars and not afraid to do some fun stuff with them. So he offered to take me in his LaFerrari Aperta, but I had no idea what was going to transpire. So basically, we get off the start and start speeding up, and he's going crazy. And so then he launches it, going pretty fast. We take some turns and actually power slide around to some corners and end up in this road and field, like construction type of area. He stops and then starts doing some crazy donuts. I haven't done donuts in many cars, let alone LaFerrari Aperta, which is definitely one of the more exciting cars you could do that in. And so he does that, and then we continue driving. He just decides to drive off-road. And so he goes off the road and starts driving around trees and crazy stuff that you would never expect a LaFerrari to be doing, let alone a brand new LaFerrari Aperta. And so he takes the LaFerrari around a couple trees, drives near some of the other car photographers and gets close to hitting some of them intentionally, spooks them. Earlier in the day, he almost hit me with the LaFerrari Aperta doing donuts. So it was a pretty memorable experience. And then another weekend in London, I actually went to the Top Gear test track for an event, and I actually was able to ride in a Lexus LFA around the test track. That was another amazing experience, to go hauling around with a Lexus track driver, and that was a Lexus-owned car. And so he was not afraid to rip that up, so that was another amazing weekend. I went to Italy and saw the Pagani Vanishing Point. I went to Sweden for the Koenigsegg Owners Rally, which was the second year of the event, and the first year was pretty big, and I knew about it. I figured, okay, the second year is going to be good too. So when I got to London, I would learn more details about it, and I was able to set up a trip to go. I heard there was only going to be 5 Koenigsegg's, which was still a lot, considering the fact that they've made just over 140 cars. I went, and Koenigseggs just keep coming and coming and coming, and eventually there ended up to be 19 Koenigseggs, which was the largest gathering of Koenigseggs outside of the factory ever. Ageras and CCXs and CCRs. It was pretty amazing to see everything in the same place. I actually got invited to go on the rally at the last minute, but I was unable to change my flight plans. Now I've actually seen around a third of the Koenigseggs ever produced. That's pretty cool, considering Koenigsegg is my favorite company. The Koenigsegg employees were extremely welcoming. Christian von Koenigsegg was super friendly. He actually got up from lunch with some of the owners to go and show kids the CCX that he had been driving, and let them sit in it, and then signed a shirt for this lady, and which he didn't have to do. He was eating lunch with owners and took his time away to do that. And I think that very few CEOs would do that and take the time to show people, even though they could be conversing with their customers. So I thought that was pretty remarkable. And it's always amazing because you see people doing different things at different shows. So you have some owners who will go to shows and show their cars on the lawn, and then you have other people who will do donuts and crazy stuff. And you meet so many interesting enthusiasts along the way. That also makes the trips more worthwhile. There's very few passions where you can go to any given city and be able to meet so many different cool people who you can converse with, and they share a common interest. It's easy to communicate with them, even before and afterwards. You have most people are on Instagram and other forms of social media. It's always cool to put faces with the usernames and connect with people who I've seen on social media before. And I hope I can continue to go to these events in the future. It's been pretty amazing, and I hope that everyone else who wants to experience these events gets the opportunity to travel and explore the world and explore the cars. My advice to up-and-coming photographers, or any enthusiast who wants to travel around is you shouldn't be shy. You should be willing to go up to people and meet them and get to know other people, because that makes the experiences way more valuable. It's one thing just to look at cars, but it's another thing to have people who share the common experience with you. And a lot of times you'll end up going to shows with them in the future and traveling around, and that makes it even more worthwhile, and why I have found cars to be such a great way to meet so many different people around the world. I don't know if I could have had so many fun experiences without these people in these cars.